Dude, to anybody that's ever said football or soccer isn't a physical sport, watch that. Those were some of the craziest hits I've ever seen. What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new reaction, and today we're watching the 15 most brutal fouls in football. Now, when I think of a physical, brutal football, of course, I instantly go to American football. But no, not today. We're watching the most brutal fouls in soccer, as we call it over here. Which, before I started really watching it, I never thought it was that physical. Sometimes traditional football is even or even more physical and brutal than American football. So I'm expecting some crazy stuff in today's video. So we're about to get into it. Go on to the channel, hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you want to see more football reactions. But other than that, let's get into it. There is currently a giant excavator driving down my street. They're actually going to my new property. If y'all want to see what we got going on down there, go check out my other channel with my girlfriend, Anna and JT. That's exciting. That's the first piece of heavy equipment to go down there, so hey.
Here are the 15 most brutal fouls in the history of football.
They haven't cleared it all.
Dang.
That is a booking.
Number 15. At number 15, the foul was committed by a player normally known for being a good guy. It was in the final match of the group stage of the 2018 UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich versus Ajax Amsterdam. Both teams were giving their all, and they each scored a goal. However, in the 75th minute, chaos erupted on the Ajax bench. Mueller attempted to reach a long pass with a high kick and didn't see the Ajax player who wanted to head the ball.
Bro, he literally just hit him with a flying head kick. Oh my gosh. Forget football, welcome to UFC. MMA, here we are.
The Bayern
Jesus
player
Christ.
directly hit Tagliafico in the forehead with his boot studs, causing a laceration. Tagliafico had to receive medical treatment on the field, but luckily was able to continue and finish the match. Mueller, on the other hand, was shown a red card and had to take an early shower. The foul was quite violent but unintentional. However, our top 3 fouls, without a doubt, are brutal. Number 14. In the 1990 World Cup held in Italy, Cameroon surprised everyone by beating the defending champions Argentina 1-0 in the opening match. But there was a scene from that game that the football world will never forget. Just before the end of the match, there was one last counterattack by Claudio Caniggia. During that tackle, even his shoe flew off. Massing was directly sent off, and this foul was considered one of the worst in World Cup history.
Bro hit him so hard he came out of his shoe. You know how hard you gotta hit somebody to knock them out of their shoe? Jesus
Indeed,
Christ.
football is pure emotion, and in some cases, tempers flare up quickly. Number 13. Our next foul is committed by a player known mainly for his aggressive defending and unsportsmanlike conduct. In the quarterfinals of the Spanish Copa del Rey, Barcelona, with superstar Messi, played against their arch-rivals Real Madrid. Messi's run towards the goal, as usual, could only be stopped by a foul. And while Messi was on the ground, Pepe did this. He stepped on it.
No, that's dirty. That's dirty. And that's bad to do to anybody, but you're really gonna do it to Messi? Come on, bro. You step on anybody else's hand like that, it's gonna be talked about for maybe a day, maybe 2 days. But Messi, no, you're gonna have to deal with that for the rest of your career. It's over.
His hand. Messi screamed in pain and Barcelona went mad, rightfully so. The referee didn't see it and there was no video assistant referee at that time, so Pepe didn't receive a foul. Messi, on the other hand, was able to continue playing and scored the winning goal against Real.
Yeah, see, you done poked the bear, or you stepped on the bear's claw. I'm all for going hard, playing hard, giving it your all, but when you start playing dirty like that and start intentionally trying to injure somebody, that's when I'm out. I'm done. There's no room for all that. Get out of here.
The match, Pepe apologized, claiming it was unintentional. Sorry, Pepe, but it looked anything but accidental.
Literally.
Number 12. The next foul didn't even result in a yellow or red card, although this tackle nearly killed the other player. In 1988, Rangers were playing against Steaua Bucharest. The Scottish team was known for their rough style of play, but Grame Souness went a bit far.
That is a booking.
Reckless and dangerous, 40 years ago, the studs on the boots were made of iron, not plastic. The player who suffered the foul had to undergo surgery, and in the hospital he discovered how serious the situation was. One of his lymph nodes had burst, which could have endangered his life. Fortunately, everything turned out well, and Graham didn't even receive a card for his ugly foul.
Bro, but you did it when you knew you had literal iron on the bottom of your shoe. Like, that's so crazy to me that they used to play with actual, like, metal on the bottom of their shoes like that. Jesus.
Number 11. But let's stay in England. The Premier League is known to be a bit more physical, and John Terry was known to be one of the toughest defenders. However, this tackle knocked him out cold. It was the final phase of a League Cup match between Chelsea and Arsenal, and the score was tied at 1-1.
Ooh, I bet that was a good match.
Turned a corner, and Terry wanted to show off his heading skills.
They haven't cleared it on.
Abu Diaby wanted to kick the ball away from the goal, and Terry attempted a header at the same time. It was not a good combination. Terry swallowed his tongue, stopped breathing for a short period, and had to be treated on the field.
Wait, he swallowed his tongue? I didn't even think that could happen. That's terrible. That one was completely unintentional, of course. The amount of force that dude was kicking with, and then the amount of force that he was also trying to do the header with, just colliding like that, bro, that is scary. That is scary. Wow.
Fortunately, he recovered but had no memory of the incident. At least Didier Drogba scored the winning goal, making Chelsea the winner of the match.
Wow.
Number 10. The foul in the next match also occurred during an important encounter and almost sparked a brawl between the two teams. We're back in Spain in the 2011 Spanish Super Cup match between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Remember Pepe? Barcelona was leading 3-2, and it was already the last minutes of extra time when Marcelo had no chance of recovering the ball and brutally lunged at Fabregas from behind. Pure frustration. A straight red card. In the ensuing scuffle, Mourinho pinched the ear of the Barca coach, Piqué and Ozil pushed each other, and yes, there was a lot of confusion.
Hang on. Why'd he pinch his ear? There's so many things he could do. You know, you could kick him, you could shove him, you could punch him, but you're gonna pinch his earlobe?
Pito, David Villa, Marcelo, and Ozil all received red cards and had to watch the final seconds from outside the field.
Wow.
Number 9. Axel Witsel was an important player for Dortmund in recent years, but when he was making a name for himself in 2009, he was involved in one of the worst fouls, and some even called for his ban from professional football. At the time, the young Witsel played for the Standard Liège. He was part of Belgium's golden generation, and top clubs from around the world had their eyes on him, but then during a match against Anderlecht, this happened. Witsel broke the opponent's leg, received a red card, and was suspended for 8 matches.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Did you see his leg? It went like a noodle.
Witsel broke the opponent's leg, received a red card, and was suspended for 8 matches.
Oh,
he continued
my
to
gosh.
claim it was all unintentional, but with the next incident, the perpetrator of the foul won't be able to escape.
Like, it didn't look like he intentionally did it. It kind of just looked like an accident, but still, did you see his leg? Cheese and rice.
Brutal. Number 8. It's the final of the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa. The Netherlands, with Arjen Robben, faced the Spanish tiki-taka of Iniesta and Xavi. It's the 28th minute and the score is 0-0 when Nigel de Jong turns into a kung fu fighter against Xabi Alonso.
Bro.
It's understandable that the Spanish players were furious with the referee because the Englishman, Howard Webb, only showed a yellow card. It's hard to believe when you see those images.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Alonso could continue playing.
He just Spartan kicked him in the chest. What do you mean a yellow card?
And since Robben failed to score, Spain ultimately won the World Cup.
Wow.
But this foul in the Bundesliga didn't have a pleasant aftermath. Number 7. The injured player even sued the other player and the opposing team's coach. In 1981, Bielefeld played against Werder Bremen. Ewald Lienen tried to dribble past Siegmann. The Iron Studs cut Lienen's thigh, and I can't show you the leg photos, otherwise YouTube would block the video. The player recovered from the injury after 4 weeks, but sued Siegmann and Otto Regal, the coach of Werder Bremen at the time. According to Lienen's accusation, the player had encouraged his teammates to commit the foul. The lawsuit failed, but the incident didn't go unnoticed. In the return match, the coach even sat on the bench wearing a bulletproof vest. There were death threats against him.
Jeez.
Number 6.
Like, whose idea was it to wear metal on the bottom of your shoe? Like, that just doesn't sound like a good idea. Like, you're running around, sliding, falling into people, and somebody was like, hey, what if they had metal spikes on the bottoms of their shoes? like they were running around, y'all know the boots that the dude wore in the SpongeBob movie, these? Y'all were out here playing football in those?
Martin Taylor also received a death threat after his foul on Eduardo. We're back in the Premier League, Birmingham City against Arsenal. Martin Taylor's incredibly brutal foul against Eduardo of Arsenal resulted in a broken tibia and fibula. The incident was so shocking that even on TV, replays weren't shown. Taylor was suspended for 3 matches. Eduardo returned to the field after a long injury hiatus, but was never the same.
It seems like every time they go to kind of slide tackle, they slide into their legs, that's when some of the worst injuries happen. And getting hit in your legs like that, bro, that's never a good thing. I don't care how much you can squat. You have a full grown man running full speed, diving into your legs, something bad's gonna happen.
Number 5. Our number 5 occurred 2 years later, again in a Premier League match. Stoke City's Ryan Shawcross entered the duel, made the first contact, and broke Aaron Ramsey's leg.
Jeez.
Shawcross received a red card and was suspended for 3 matches. Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger and the rest of the team were furious. 19-year-old Ramsey was making a name for himself in the football world, and many feared his career was already over. Fortunately, he recovered from the terrible injury and continued to play.
Yeah, I feel like out of all of the sports, football has got to be one of the hardest ones to come back with a leg injury. Because, it's football. That is 90% of the sport. Probably more than that. It's all legs. That's the most valuable part being able to play football, is using your feet and your legs and all that.
Now let's move on to a foul that gave the player a nickname. The Butcher of Bilbao. Number 4. In the 1980s, Athletic Bilbao and Barcelona had the biggest rivalry in Spain. Bilbao became champions in 1983, Barcelona won the cup, and in their 4th round of the new season, the 2 teams were set to face each other. The skillful Catalans against the tough Basques. 2 different football worlds. The score was already 2-0 for Barca when Maradona received the ball in midfield.
Oh!
Goicoechea brutally lunged from behind and broke the 25-year-old Maradona's ankles. Maradona had to stay out of the game for several months,
Bro.
and Goicoechea received an 18-match suspension.
His ankle touched the ground. His foot bent so much to the side that his ankle touched the ground. No. Listen, I sprained my ankle 7th grade basketball, okay? But I sprained it and was out for 3 weeks. And dude, when it first happened, I couldn't walk on it. It hurt so bad. I couldn't even imagine completely breaking it. That is insane.
We've reached the top 3 and we're back in the Premier League. Number 3. In 2006, Manchester City played against Portsmouth. After a corner kick, Portsmouth player Mendes rushed to clear the ball.
No.
Oh my God!
Ben Thatcher hit him in the face with an elbow for no reason. Mendes lost consciousness and had to be treated on the field and then taken to the hospital.
No, that's dirty. The ball's going out. Dude, there is zero need for any of that. And why lead in with an elbow? Yeah, that's messed up.
Third thing is that Thatcher only received a yellow card. What does one have to do to get a red card in England?
So I can run as fast as I humanly possibly can and hit a man right in the face with a flying elbow and only get a yellow card? What are we doing? What is happening?
Later, he was suspended by the Football Association for 8 matches and fined by his own club, being docked 6 weeks' wages as a punishment. Number 2. France versus Germany. In 1982, the 2 teams met in the World Cup semifinals, and the encounter was ruthless. Suddenly, a good opportunity for France. Goalkeeper Schumacher lunged at Battiston and knocked him out with a powerful blow.
Wait a minute. Did he just knock him out with his booty cheeks?
For France. Goalkeeper Schumacher lunged at...
He just knocked him out straight booty cheeks to the temple. Bro.
Battiston and knocked him out with a powerful blow. The player lost several teeth and suffered a spinal injury. One of the worst fouls ever. Schumacher had no chance of touching the ball, and it seemed like he just wanted to knock out the French player.
Was it with his ass, or did he go knee to the face? Either way, he lost teeth and had a spinal... Bro. Oh, that's one of the worst injuries I think I've ever heard of when it comes to football.
Here's the absurd part. He didn't receive any card, not even a yellow one. Germany won the semifinal, but then lost to Italy in the final. Our number 1, perhaps the most brutal foul ever, happened in England.
Uh-oh.
Are we really surprised?
Oh.
Number 1,
What's that
September 1997. Manchester United was playing against Leeds. Roy Keane and Alf Inge Haaland, or rather Erling Haaland's father, clashed several times during the match. 5 minutes before the end, Keane wanted to trip Haaland, but in the process he injured himself. Haaland leaned over him and shouted to stop faking an injury, but Keane wasn't faking. He'd torn his cruciate ligament and had to be out injured for a long time. 3.5 years later, the two faced each other again. Holland was playing for Manchester City, the eternal rival of Manchester United. Keane wanted only one thing: to have revenge on Holland. He received a red card and a 3-match suspension, plus a fine of £5,000. A year and a half later, he wrote in his autobiography that he wanted to hurt Holland with that foul, and the English League handed him another 5-match suspension and a fine of £150,000.
Dude, it wasn't like in the thigh or in the calf. He went straight for the knee. That's terrible. Wow. Dude, to anybody that's ever said football or soccer isn't a physical sport, watch that. Those were some of the craziest hits I've ever seen. But alright guys, that is going to do it for today's reaction. Dude, those were pretty rough. If y'all want to see me do more football reactions like this, let me know by hitting that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to go today, spread love, spread kindness, do something nice for somebody today. I appreciate you guys so much. JTReacts, I'm out. Peace.